All right, welcome back to the Buffalo Plus channel. I'm Jenna. Let's get to Dan Fates, though, because he is in Orchard Park. The Bills have been perfect throughout the preseason. They just beat the Packers 19-0. Josh Allen getting his first start and the only start of the summer. Dan, what was your takeaway today from Josh Allen's play?
Look, we've said that Josh Allen has looked good in training camp and has kind of continued his MVP caliber season from last year. Well, it just seemed like it was a continuation of training camp today. Josh, they threw on the first 16 passes of the game. He completed his first 5 to 5 different receivers. He talked about how he's not going to overreact, that it's the preseason. His stat line was impressive at the end of the day. 3 drives, 2 touchdowns. It was good. Granted, the Packers were sitting 31 players, but that's not what I'm focused on. Josh Allen and the Bills offense looked like how Josh Allen and the Bills offense should have. And again, it was a little bit of dink and dunk. Micah Hyde talked after the game about how many different options this Bills offense has. And defensively, it's demoralizing. And I've always said and joked around, Jenna, about how Tom Brady used to give you death by 1,000 paper cuts. The Bills had 2 really long drives with their starters in. That impressed me. They looked like the offense that I'm hoping to see. And then obviously it's capped off, Jenna, by that, laser beam that Josh Allen threw over the middle 31 yards to Gabriel Davis.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second, because like you said, the Bills driving in that one, and Josh Allen, the poise, that was a missile to Gabriel Davis. And we talk so much about how much Davis has kind of progressed. This only his second year in the league, but I mean, for that type of throw, that is exactly what you want to see. And how did the Bills kind of build off of that? Because look, Josh Allen said post-game, let's not, overreact. This is a preseason game. But what can he take from that?
Well, you can take away from that, Jenna, is that Josh said that they had never ran that play at all. That play has never been ran. They had never gotten that look, so they'd never thrown that ball in training camp, in OTAs, in mini camps. So that is why this game was so important for Josh Allen to get reps. He goes, that throw goes in the memory bank. That's a confidence throw. And to throw that ball over the middle is one of those things where, again, by the third quarter, I was pretty much done with this preseason game. I don't know about you. I was like, let's just go to the regular season. But you saw what this place was buzzing, Jenna. Like, it was kind of weird. And I know it's a preseason game, and I know there's a bunch of pandering about, oh, the Bills Mafia is so great. This place was rocking for a preseason game. And to come out here and to make that throw on 3rd and 20, and obviously they didn't have Reed Ferguson. He was sat out. He's having back spasms. So Josh even said, we weren't really going to try a field goal. Like, maybe we can get close to a 4th down. And just to make that throw, again, shows the poise that Gabriel Davis has had, the gun, that mentality that Josh can make every throw in the field. So it was impressive. That throw, I think, means a lot that this offense is continuing to grow. And again, Jenna, I mean, it's worth saying, Stephon Diggs didn't play. So This was a game where Gabriel Davis could step up and did.
Yeah, that's exactly what we saw. So many of the Bills wide receivers. Obviously, Cole Beasley having a good day. And then one of the newest Bills, Emmanuel Sanders. Look, we know that the preseason in terms of training camp is important in getting those reps. But today we really got to see Sanders. And what did you see from him? Because that's a guy that, look, we know Stephon Diggs is going to be the bell cow. He is the top guy. But at the same point, Sanders has so much experience coming in. And today was that huge opportunity for him and Josh to really build that chemistry.
Yeah, he said that he was wondering when it was going to be his turn because Josh completed the first 4 passes to other wide receivers, and he's like, I'm looking around, it's going zip, 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 and then he's like, then it was my turn, he's like, and I had to make the catch. And that's what Josh said was the big thing is he goes, it got the new guys, and kind of mainly talking about Sanders, getting to know how this offense works, going no huddle, the way that we roll around, the way that we go in, and maybe it's a sugar huddle, maybe all of those things. And Sanders talked about how he goes, it was fast. He goes, that's how this works. And he goes, this is going to be fun. You can practice all these reps in the preseason, Jenna, in training camp. But when you come out here, and this is the first time in over 200 days where Josh Allen has faced an opposing defense, and he looked good. He took 1 sack, but I thought he ran the ball on the 3rd down to get the conversion where I was screaming, oh my God, like it worked. And this was an offense that clicked again. So I thought that this was, again, in Josh Allen's words, we're not going to overreact. It's the preseason. But they looked good again. The offense looked smooth. It was great to see Deion Dawkins. He was one of the guys that was sucking wind. It was hot, Jenna, like very, very hot. Trey White, I got a shot of him, and the turf's like smoldering. You can like see it bubbling. And Trey White's a guy who's played at Death Valley at LSU, knows hot days. Deion said today was a big day for him, getting his conditioning back up, to be a part of 10, 12, 15 play drives. Those were huge for him, steps coming back to the regular season. So again, I don't really know a negative that came out of this game besides maybe Stevenson, Marquez Stevenson, again, left with another injury. But overall, I thought this was just another slam dunk of a game for the Bills in the preseason.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. The Bills have looked sharp. Obviously, Josh Allen and company on the offense having a great day. Let's talk about the defense. They had the bend, don't break mentality that we've seen them have over these last couple of years. Trey White, a great pass breakup on 4th and goal. We had the Micah Hyde interception as well. We know so much of this Bills team is about the offense, the weapons, Josh Allen, but for the defense to have the day that they did, what can we take away from that?
Yeah, it's kind of tricky because Jordan Love, I thought, kind of marched down the field on them a little bit. But as we've talked about in other preseason games, there's not much scheming. It's just so much talent going out there. And so it was nice to see Poyer and Hyde and the starters pretty much play the first half, kind of get their feet wet. But they did make 2 stands in the red zone that they took pride in and forced 2 turnovers. This is still I don't want to say work in progress, but it's still things still need to be decided and figured out on the front line, on the D line. A.J. Epinesa, who I thought has looked good in the previous 2 preseason games, didn't play a whole lot. He was also, like I said, he was long snapping duties for Reed Ferguson. I thought Greg Rousseau looked well. Vernon Butler was playing in the 4th quarter of the final preseason game. That's never great for a guy that's trying to make a roster. Justin Zimmer had another sack today. So there is still a lot of pieces, I think, to be figured out. They were also down like 2 corners. They were down a safety with Jaquan Johnson. There is still some things that need to be figured out. And I don't mean that in scheming-wise or identity. It's just who's going to play when is what we're still trying to figure out. But obviously you have guys that made the plays when they needed to, and I think they still take pride in that, of pitching a shutout even though it's the preseason. I think those guys, those veterans, mean something still.
And here's the thing. We've been covering the team for a couple years now, and I feel like cut down day is coming up. It's on Tuesday. They have to get for their rosters from 80 players down to 53. And in the past, you've kind of pretty much known where the Bills are going to go. How tough of a job does Brandon Beane have this upcoming weekend?
Yeah, Sean McDermott was asked about what's next, and he said it's going to be an interesting week. And I think that's the best way to put it. And Sean said that it's always difficult. Every cut is difficult because, it's the personal side and all of that. But he also said the cuts are getting tougher because the talent is better. And exactly what you said, Jenna. Cuts didn't used to be that tough in 2018 and 2019. Like, cuts are tough now. And good football players are going to be walking out this door because they're simply of a numbers game. So to see what Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane have built, it's a good, bad problem to have now at this point because some players, and that's why he said you saw a lot of the starting offensive line was still in the 3rd quarter when Jake Fromm got in there. And Sean McDermott said it was partly because they wanted that O-line to get used to seeing what Fromm would be like, and they also wanted to see what Fromm would see if he got the chance, because he said he was playing with a couple of guys that just came in this week. So how do you evaluate all of those things? That's the tough part that Sean McDermott and his coaching staff will have to do. I expect cuts to be coming down as soon as possibly tomorrow. Sean McDermott usually doesn't wait around too long, and then it's the waiting game of who comes back in the practice squad, and you go from there. But it is a deep roster, probably as they've ever had.
Yeah, going to be a lot of movement going forward, a lot of fluidity as well. Let's remember, too, the 53-man roster is due at 4 p.m. on Tuesday, but there's still going to be a lot of movement even after that as the Bills look to get their final roster projections. And again, it's always going to be a work in progress. But hey, Dan, we appreciate. Why don't you go towel off? It looks really hot out there. We always appreciate your work.
So hot, Jenna.
So hot. Get a water.
So hot.
All right, the Bills will have plenty more practices coming up. Dan's going to get his towel and his water. For Dan Fates, I'm Jenna Cottrell. Be sure to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to the Buffalo Plus channel on YouTube. We appreciate it so much. We'll catch you next time.